So I walk in. Now we're up to 1978. Okay, the war on poverty is ending. They're about ready to get into a new war, and we'll get into that. But I walk into this law school, brand new law school. I think we were like the second class over there on 10th, by the 10th Street Bridge. Now it's called the Mondale Law School. So I walk in there, and I'm thinking, well, this is pretty cool, right? And I meet the first Chicano from St. Paul and the first Chicano from Minneapolis. The three of us are the first three homeboys in the history of that law school. I think it was around for like 120 years at this point, to ever be admitted into that law school. At this time, there's a political debate going on about affirmative action. Some student in the University of California Medical School did not get in because of affirmative action. A student of color got in ahead of him. He filed a lawsuit claiming reverse discrimination. This would be Bakke versus University of California Medical School. And so the debate about affirmative action, reverse discrimination, quality professionals in the legal community, these were all bubbling at the law school. And it became clear that the message was, if you want a good lawyer, like always, you got to have money to hire a good lawyer. And if you want a really good lawyer, you better get a white male. Because at this point, more and more women were getting into the legal community, and more people like me, people of color, were getting into the legal community. And there was just this message out there. The dominant narrative said, you know, you want a good lawyer, you pay money, and you get a white male. Right? You want to get a lawyer on the cheap, you go for a woman or you go for a minority. It was just, it wasn't really said, but it was like, this is the whole cornerstone of the debate. So, by my second year in law school, there's a lot of angst about this debate about affirmative action and its effectiveness in this war on poverty. And I went to my two compadres and said, I doubt I will practice law. I just don't want to give up that kind of power. But I will commit to working for justice. That'll be my legacy. So as I was getting into my third year of law school, I got more involved in Hispanic ministry at the Archdiocese of St. Paul in Minneapolis. Now, once again, you know, here's another institution. You know, you got the law school, like waiting 130 years to let in 3 Chicanos from the Twin Cities. You got the Archdiocese waiting decades to acknowledge the Hispanic Catholics in the Archdiocese. And now they finally gave this Hispanic ministry its own office. Actually, we shared office and a budget, and so we were officially a department of the Archdiocese. Once again, I've seen a slow, very slow response to communities of color by white-led institutions in my history of growing up here in the Twin Cities in Minnesota. So I'm the chair of Hispanic ministry for the Archbishop, John Roach, God bless him. And it was through that leadership work that I got connected to the profession of community organizing. And one of the organizers who trained me to become a community organizer was Beth Newkirk, who now is the executive director of the Organizing Apprenticeship Project, the founding director, I should say. So let me fast forward. I think we're talking about 1978, 1981. Now let's fast forward to 1993. That's when OAP got started, okay? The Organizing Apprenticeship Project. And it got started by some senior organizers who did a assessment of the field of organizing in Minnesota and realized that as the demographics were changing in Minnesota, more and more people of color were moving in, were settling in, starting communities of their own, that the field of organizing must reflect the demographics of these new communities. And so OAP was set up with a mission to improve the quality of community organizing in Minnesota by advancing the diversity of organizers, providing them with quality training, and connecting them to a network of community organizers in Minnesota and in the country. And OAP did this through the creation of a 6-month apprenticeship class, where each apprentices in the class would get organizing training by professional organizers. They would be connected to a mentor, and they would be connected to an issue campaign or a sponsoring organization.